Hey everybody, welcome to my review. Today I'm going to be talking about Violent Night, a movie that I saw about 6 days ago, almost a week, but very good movie. Um, that's not my entire synopsis on it. You'll hear my thoughts, but yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this very, very interesting Christmas film. So, Violent Night stars, it's got David Harbour, it's got um, don't know the actor's name, but he's translucent from The Boys, so that's how I recognized him. Um, and a variety of other people, and it's basically about Santa storming a mansion after. Well, no, he more gets caught up in it. Caught up in it, as in these terrorists storm a mansion with a rich family inside and keep them hostage until they get their demands, which is happens to be money. What else is it? So Santa shows up out of the blue to deliver gifts, and then ends up getting caught up in the middle. So it's like an action thriller with Santa as the protagonist, almost like Die Hard with John McClane. So um, the first thing that comes to mind when talking about this movie specifically is the fact that it's just so damn fun. Like, it's probably the most fun I've had at the theater since Bullet Train. I really wish I would have talked about that movie, but as fate has it, I took a long hiatus from YouTube, and now I'm back because I have a lot of free time on my hands. Uh, but yeah, it's from the same like producing studio, or yeah, from the same producers who did that movie. I'm pretty sure. Really, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Now, the movie's not particularly original with its formula. It's just like the plot of really any other action movie, but the fact that they used Santa Claus as an action hero this time around, I think is very, very creative. It's like their own spin on the formula, and it works. It works. This movie got review bombed, and I honestly do not agree with what they're saying at all. The movie is okay. Look, it's not an Emmy winner. It's not an Oscar winner. Like, I wouldn't say it's like movie of the year. Like potential. Like, how next year we've got Oppenheimer, which is probably going to end up being like the best movie of the year. To a lot of different critics. But this movie is very, very fun. It's very, very self-aware too, so it doesn't take itself seriously, and it really pays off. Like, to give an example, Bullet Train kind of pulled the same thing. The reason why I'm calling it back to it is because it's done by the same people. So it kind of pulled the same thing where it didn't take itself seriously. It knew exactly when to land its jokes. Um, but that also leads into a complaint that I have about this movie, and the fact that, like, in contrast, I think the script sometimes suffered a little bit. I really loved Bullet Train's script. It was very slick. The jokes knew how to land, like exactly when, like the timing was impeccable. But in this movie, you have a script that could be rip roaringly hilarious at times, and then not in other times, and the dialogue kind of falls flat. So it wasn't as consistent of a comedy as I would like. Um, but that's just a minor gripe. That's like maybe two. I would only take like maybe 2 points. Not even 2 points. Maybe like a point and a half off, honestly, for that specific issue, because I love a good script, and it's kind of whenever you have a script that doesn't run as well. Um, so yeah, basically that's my only complaint about the movie. I love the casting choices. David Harbour as Santa was an incredibly awesome casting choice. As a drunk Santa, especially like drunk vulgar Santa, like it's something we haven't seen before. So I view that as a really like a big win for this movie, is the fact that they have him in the leading role, and everybody else put on a pretty good show. I mean, like they were very. I mean, like everybody in this movie is a bunch of horrible people. Not going into spoilers or anything, but they're like there's almost no good guys. It's not morally gray. It's just that like people are kind of crappy. That's really the whole overarching theme behind this movie. And a lot of people I found complaint with that specific, like the movie was way too cynical, but I think that ties into the lesson of the movie, and that ties into like the whole like arc behind like Santa's kind of like redemption arc a little bit. Not going into detail there. Go and see this movie for yourself. But um, the the performances were as good as they'd get for an action movie. I mean, like, you don't really need to be like, as long as the acting isn't corny, So the performance was really good, but the part that you're all there for is the action, right? And the action was incredibly well done, incredibly gory. Like, it was over the top in every single way, and that's what I love about these kinds of action movies, is when you have really over the top, just gore, like one take fight scenes. I mean, they're not one take, but they're cut at the right times. It's not like, Taken, where they take like 14 takes to do vaulting over a fence, that kind of thing. So the action was really well choreographed, really gory, rip-roaringly good time. And so, like, with all those positives together, and with that one gripe that I have, because there's not much to talk about outside of that, other than the fact that the movie actually surprised me with the heart that it had. And it's a little bit more than just an action comedy, just your standard action comedy. It had some heart to it, so that is a major plus for it. So the final verdict, with all of these things in mind, I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Very good time. I would recommend going to see this. This is a monumental experience, especially like the fact that I enjoyed it as much as I did. I might actually go see it a second time if I can. But yeah, it's rip-roaringly good time. Really loved it. It's definitely a Christmas classic that I will be watching every Christmas from now on, like adding it to the collection, alongside Elf and maybe A Christmas Story and, all that jazz. But it's definitely one of my favorite holiday movies now. Probably my favorite holiday movie. Yeah, thank you for watching.